and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about some very interesting interviews that I have seen personally from Justin Baldoni. I'm going to include them in this video. That kind of says a lot about what is going on and maybe some things hinting towards how things were on set before all of these lawsuits, complaints, allegations came about. Now I'm going to play some of Justin Baldoni's interviews in this, and we're going to strictly only talk about Justin Baldoni's interviews in this video, but I am going to do another video on some of the interviews that Blake Lively has done in a video here this week at some point. I don't know what day this week, but sometime this week we're also going to do a video on some of the interviews that Blake Lively has done for It Ends With Us, and look at those and look at what she has said versus what he said, all of that. But this video specifically is going to be the Justin Baldoni interviews, and there are some very interesting things that he says in these interviews, and honestly, some of these interviews are very, very respectful, but you can see like he's not happy about the interview. So we are going to look at those. Before I continue, make sure to subscribe button so you don't miss any of the updates, so you don't miss any of the Blake Lively interview video that we're going to do this week. Any of that, I'll keep you updated on this case as well as cases to come. We do true crime gossip, celebrity gossip, news, literally do it all on this channel. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start off with two different interviews where they ask him about the second movie. One of them, they ask him what it's like to work with Blake Lively in the first interview I'm going to show you. And he is very nice about it. And he speaks very highly of Blake Lively. And knowing what we do now, was that acting as well? Or is that how he truly felt? Because based on the messages and the text that we have seen from this video, I'll put it here, that's not how he actually felt. But he also didn't want to bash her on national television on an interview. So he speaks very highly of her and how you needed a woman's perspective on this movie. And then the second interview that is going to show you in here is going to be him that is after, this is during the It Ends With Us premiere, and you can tell, and this is one of the interviews that went around on social media right after, back in August, showing like, maybe they didn't get along, maybe the co-stars unfollowed him for a reason. Like, this was one of the interviews that started bringing up some red flags that there may be a divide between the two co-stars. So I'm going to play you the first interview where he's talking highly of Blake Lively, and I think this interview was well before the second interview, was recorded well before the second interview. So you can see some things had happened in between these two interviews, but we're going to compare the two. We'll do a video of it afterwards comparing the two of them, but here are those two interviews.
How was working with Blake, and were you impressed with her work ethic?
As I've said before, Blake is so creative and she works so hard, and this movie, it wouldn't have been the same without her.
Would you be interested in a sequel?
You know, I've been hearing the sequel, the conversations, you know, people ask me all the time about sequels. We are in this place where we are just trying to be in the moment, and I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude for the lives that this has impacted and changed. So we're not even like thinking about a sequel right now.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Justin said he doesn't know if he'd be game to direct the next one, but perhaps Blake would. Is that something that you would entertain?
Oh, absolutely. I think that whoever decides to take charge of the next one would do it justice. But, you know, it's a lot of people to get the same schedules together again, so we'll see.
Oh, absolutely. She's so capable of that. She is a powerhouse. She could do literally anything.
So as you can see from that, in those two interviews, those were two very different interviews. In the first one, you could see that he was trying to be nice. You know, he may have really felt that way then. The second interview, you could tell like he was over it and he was trying to be nice and not say anything negative, but kind of gave the hint that there was something going on there. And you can see in Colleen's eyes and the way she reacts that she kind of knows what is going on. But her and Blake Lively are really good friends. If I can find the screenshot, I will put it here of them wishing each other happy birthday and on Instagram and things like that. So it doesn't surprise me that Colleen is on Blake Lively's side just because they are really close friends. But you can kind of see, like, I don't know, her face just kind of says it all for you. But those two interviews, obviously very different. Let me know what you think. I don't know how long is between those interviews, but it was a good little bit. Going to take a look at is actually not an interview, but a TikTok video that Justin Baldoni posted on his TikTok account about how he chose the book, why he chose the book, and how they got to the movie part of the book. And you can just tell in his voice in this interview and like video that he really chose this book for the domestic violence reason, to bring a story out for people that are going through the similar thing. So he is actually looking for a book or a movie or something that would touch someone, and not just be a normal movie, but be a movie that could help change someone's life. And his friend sent him this book and he read it, and that is how he chose this book for the movie. So Justin Baldoni claims in this that he chose this book to make this movie, meaning he was the main person for the director position, but it looks like from the things that we've seen that he's claiming that Blake Lively took over that spot. And we're going to get to an interview where he insinuates that here in just a minute. But here's that TikTok video.
My dear friend and book agent sent me the book. She knew I was looking for content that could really touch people's lives.
Can I just kiss you?
Just once?
I had never read a romance novel before.
Just once.
And as the book gets deeper and deeper, and you start to understand what the book is really about, I just remember having this moment of like, oh wow, I haven't ever seen anything like this. And this would be a very challenging adaptation.
If one day you had a daughter, she came to you and said the person she loved was hurting her, what would you say to her?
I spent a lot of time talking to fans of the book, reading what the fans loved about the book, why they loved the book, and give them the chance to offer real, honest feedback. And it became this very symbiotic, reciprocal relationship to find out what worked and what didn't. And that was what allowed us to launch into what eventually became our script.
We break the pattern, or the pattern breaks us.
At the end of the day, we were making this for the fans of the book. And the fans of the book are going to be our loudest voices. It was so important to honor the very people that made this book so successful. And I really hope that we do justice in bringing this novel to the big screen.
The next one I want to talk about is also from Justin Baldoni's TikTok, and this is a really sad story. So if you're not ready for a sad story today, I would just skip on past this one because I teared up as well, and I'm not a crier. So this is a fan that last wish was to meet Justin Baldoni. Well, he actually invited her to the premiere of It Ends With Us. Super sweet gesture. It was very heartfelt. You could tell that he genuinely just wanted well for her, and she did end up passing not too long after the premiere, but it's the story from the time he duetted her first video to the end, and it is very touching. And you can just tell from the video he is just genuinely, he just seems, let me put it this way, he seems like a genuinely nice and caring person. Like, he seems like he really cares for this person, even though he just met her. Like, you can just see that he just wanted the best for her. So I'm gonna play you this TikTok video, and then we'll get to some of the actual interviews.
I was told I had to watch this one.
If you see this video, I am a huge fan of you.
Oh.
Your movies are so inspiring.
If everyone can tag Justin Baldoni to this video, it would mean the world to me.
I have been trying to reach out to you for the longest. I have everything of you.
A couple days ago, I received a message from Justin, and he told me he's been following my journey. He would like for me and my husband to be his guest. I cannot wait to meet him in person.
This woman is a fighter.
Gabby and I met via TikTok because for some reason she put me on her bucket list. And I still think you can do much better. I can't help but feel in the middle of all of this celebration that this stuff is all fleeting. And Gabby just told me the doctors didn't give her that much time, that she's not giving up. And then I thought to myself, wow, one of my best friends wrote this song about not giving up for my first movie, 5 Feet Apart, for Claire Weinman, and he happens to be here. So I thought we could all sing this song together.
Yes!
So don't give up.
This last one is very interesting as it is one that actually talks about the intimacy coordinator aspect of this movie, and we know that is a huge part of the Blake Lively complaint / lawsuit and the Justin Baldoni lawsuit now. So this is very interesting. Now, Blake Lively also did an interview where the interviewee brought up the intimacy coordinator and how Blake Lively took the role of the intimacy coordinator, and she basically kind of gets caught in a lie. We're going to do a whole nother video on that because it's wild and there's some things that I want to talk about, and I don't want to take all the time from this video. This video is about Justin Baldoni, but the two interviews, and I may play you a little portion of that interview just so you can see the difference in the personalities of these two interviews, because you can just see how she reacts to the intimacy coordinator question versus how Justin reacts to the intimacy coordinator question, that they are very much different in that aspect. Now, again, this interview was a while back, I think, so I don't know when this interview was. It does seem a lot less negative towards Blake. It's a very positive video towards Blake in this interview, so I feel like this one may be one prior to the It Ends With Us premiere. But here is this interview. It is very telling, the two differences of these interviews. I think I am going to try to play Blake's as well, so I will play those and then we will finish discussing.
I'm a man, and this is a story that is told through the lens of a woman. And especially when it relates to intimacy scenes and to scenes where there is a mix of intimacy and violence, I wanted to make sure that those scenes had a female gaze. As much as I can try to see the world as a woman, I never will be able to. And then when it came to bringing on a stunt coordinator, it was important to me that it was a woman. We brought on Lauren Shaw, and we all worked together to figure out, well, how can the intimacy of this and the violence kind of work together? How can we make sure everyone feels safe? How can we rehearse and go through the process? Blake was very involved in that and had amazing ideas and was very hands-on with the choreography of it as well. Honestly, there were many instances on set where I just let the women figure it out, and I took a step back and kind of jumped in more as an actor in those scenes than even as a director.
With Lily, with both of them, and Blake, you always have a vision. So talk to me about how sometimes you were even the intimacy coordinator in some of those sexier scenes. Like we saw you.
That shouldn't be happening, by the way. I just want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have.
Well,
thank goodness.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen
this?
I actually just saw it too. It was on Instagram yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, you know, romance is really important. You're supposed to you know, tell a story well and make people feel, but you're also supposed to do it in a way that yeah, is like safe and respectful for all. So yeah, I guess that's the role of intimacy coordination. But yeah, when I think of my involvement in the film, I don't really see that as the thing that I did. I did probably everything else. You touched on everything else here and there, but yeah, we were really lucky I'm fortunate to be able to have had you know, such a all-encompassing experience on this film, and Colleen too. I mean, she's such a great filmmaker. You know, she was really able to separate herself as the author and sit in that edit room and go like, okay, I know that I wrote this in the book, but like what?
I don't know about you, but those two give me very different vibes. One gives me respect for the other co-star. One gives me, I got caught in a lie and now I'm trying to backtrack. Just my opinion. I am still on team, I need more information before I can decide. Now, am I leaning towards the Justin Baldoni side right now? Yes. But also, when Blake Lively's complaint came out, there was a lot of stuff and we were like, okay, this isn't looking good for Justin. Well, then Justin Baldoni's lawsuit came out and we're like, okay, well, this isn't looking good for Blake. And until we get more information from both sides, I feel like it's hard to make a decision, because a sexual harassment claim is a claim that should be taken very, very seriously. No matter who it's from, how many claims they've had, it should always be taken very seriously. So am I leaning toward Justin's side? Yes. But am I still on team, I need more information? Yes, because of these serious claims that we are looking at. But you can let me know what you think in the comments if you're on a certain team, or if you're like me and on team I need more information but leaning towards a certain side. I would love to know what you think in the comments. That is all for this video. I am going to be making another video about some interviews that Blake Lively has done for It Ends With Us and past interviews this week. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that. All the updates on this case. We're supposed to be getting a new lawsuit from Justin Baldoni's lawyer with more text messages, one for Ryan Reynolds. So as soon as we do, I will be breaking that down just like I did in past videos. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any updates on this case as well as cases to come. All right, until next time, love you. Bye.